War Eagle War Rapport family, I'm your host C-Dub, and Auburn heads into the bye week ranked number 22 in the nation and also sitting pretty at 5-2. And the fellas are all here to discuss yesterday's game, give our University Ace hardware tools to the game, introduce a new segment, and hand out grades as well. And you know the ever so popular What Did We See segment is also looming as well. So you definitely want to hang around for that. But for now, sit back, get your weight up because your weekend tailgate starts right now.
You are now listening to a War Rapport Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by University Ace Hardware. It's your boy, I John. Be Will, C-Dub, Mike G. Get ready, sit on back as we bring you the War Rapport Weekend Tailgate.
War Eagle, everyone. Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us on the Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by our good friends at University Ace Hardware. Always remember, for your hardware needs, Ace is the place for you. And if you just so happen to be in the Auburn area, be sure to stop by 2101 East University Drive. Drop in and let them know that your friends at the War Rapport sent you. Also, shout out to our War Rapport family. Guys, help us grow, help us expand. You can do that by sharing our live videos on social media. Please be sure to use hashtag Get Your Weight Up, whether you're on Facebook or Twitter. That helps us out, and it also helps out others looking for Auburn content. Now, got a lot of stuff to talk about announcement-wise, but also, Mike G, help people know how that they can become a member.
Become an insider. Listen, we got some exciting things going on. You guys know what the deal is. Our game day experience is insider only or member only. So become a War Rapport member. We've got a lot of stuff going on for our members, giveaways, just so many things going on that you want to be involved in. And if you're bored during the off season, we've got a lot of insider content that's going to be coming for you guys. So you want to stay tuned for that. We're giving away a t-shirt at the 1 hour mark. You know the deal. Hashtag Get Your Weight Up in the comments to enter this drawing. This is brought to you by our guys, Walt Taylor at GWT2 Energy. Thank you, Walt, for sponsoring this segment. Hashtag Get Your Weight Up in the comments to enter the drawing. At the 1 hour mark, we'll pull. You got to be here to win, though. So make sure you don't leave your computer for the next hour. We are partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. Guys, this is the good that we've decided to put back in the world. 50 cents on every dollar you donate to this GoFundMe goes to help the Lee County Humane Society in their mission to save puppies. So you can find the link to this GoFundMe in the About section of our YouTube channel. Head on over there. Listen, community can do a lot when we band together. So no one person has to do it all the heavy lifting. A lot of us can do a little and get a lot done. So we appreciate everybody who's going to go over there and do that. As an insider, you get access to ticket drawing. So this week's winner is Charlie Benson. Congratulations to Charlie on winning 2 tickets to the Ole Miss game on the War Rapport. Charlie will be attending. This is one of our favorite things we do, is giving away stuff for you guys. So congratulations, Charlie. But we don't want it to end there. Wednesday, we're raffling off 2 more tickets on the Wednesday Night War Room. So tune in Wednesday for a chance to win 2 tickets to the Ole Miss game live, right? Listen, this is actually brought to us by another member, Mike Parrish. Him and his dad, Dave, have decided to donate these tickets to the members. So you definitely want to tune in on Wednesday. We're going to raffle these tickets off live. The only thing I ask is, if you win and you cannot attend, let us draw again so that we can get somebody who actually is going to make the game and enjoy that experience. We have provided first-time experiences to Auburn games to some of the people who have won this. So I definitely want somebody to be able to go to the game and enjoy. Last but certainly not least, shout out to our betting partner, BUSR. You can find them at busr.com/rapport. This is a great way to support our content. So go on over there, sign up where you place 100 bets a year or just one. Sign up at busr.com/rapport. to help us out, help them out, keep the War Rapport viable.
Shout outs to DFY. Thank you for joining the family. Welcome. Good.
Welcome.
Also, Cleveland Brown. It's always a fact.
Yes.
It's great to be an Auburn Tiger. Thanks for hopping in, man. Appreciate that as well. So, guys, listen.
We missed one. B. Will had me in tears yesterday talking about the Arkansas fans blaming the refs. Absolutely factual as well.
Classic moment. Classic moment.
Yeah, they've been salty on Twitter since yesterday. Super salty.
Do you give away range balls for that game?
We'll talk about that later too.
We will definitely get into that.
Indeed. So listen, guys, we had the early morning kickoff. We got a chance to watch other games take place as the day went on Saturday. So rapid fire real quick before we get into player of the game. I just want to know, how are y'all feeling about the latter half or the rest of the season, given that Auburn is 5-2, still ranked, and looking at the outlook of our schedule? B, how you feeling? You was at peace a week ago. How are you feeling today?
I'm still at peace. I think what we got from the first 6 games was the fact that this was not going to be a miraculous season. This was not a complete rebuild, but as far as culture and schematics, it actually was. And so the first half was a little discouraging because we lost some games where we could have won. Penn State and Georgia, we could have competed much better. And we came away from that feeling like, man, like I wanted some more energy, but I had to remind myself why I was at peace. There's a reason we got rid of the last guy. There's a reason I picked us to go 9-3 and not 11-1, and that's okay. And so for a great gift in the middle of the season, we get a win against a team that's good. That is a good team that could have beaten us if we weren't sharp yesterday, but we were sharp and we were good. And looking at that game going, man, this is what those struggles in the first half were for, to get us to this point. And now that we're at that point, I see everybody else. I'm like, there's nobody who's unbeatable on our schedule. Nobody. And I'm including Texas A&M with how their defense is played. And I'm including Bama with how their offense looked yesterday. Nobody on our schedule is unbeatable. So that doesn't mean we're going to go undefeated. Pump the brakes right there a little bit. But we're in this thing, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit that 9-3. I would be thrilled. And it looks possible.
Ike, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about kind of where we are as it pertains to the rest of the SEC?
Yeah, very similar sentiments. I think that we have the opportunity to do really well coming in here for the remainder of this season. There's a lot of defenses left on this schedule that look like we can score on them as long as if our pass game can be efficient. Listen, yesterday was kind of, I don't even know what to call that, but amazing, right? But I don't know if that we can duplicate that type of thing. But if we can do close to that and make teams respect us through passing the ball, our run game is going to be going crazy. So it's just going to be really difficult to defend us going forward if we show another Saturday of what we saw yesterday in the pass game. So looking very optimistic going through the remainder of this season.
Mike G, talk to me, man.
I feel hopeful. I'm sticking with the theme that this win was a win that would give us hope for the rest of the season. So it wasn't just that we won it. It was how we won it.
Yes.
Controlling the game from start to finish, taking the thing that Arkansas was clearly willing to give us, which was the pass. No team from now to the end of the year is going to be willing to give us the run. I'm going to tell you that right now. And they're not going to suddenly start respecting it just because of this one game. So we got to go out and do it again. Right. But you know what? Bo Nix did to Arkansas what Stetson Bennett did to us last week.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He went out and he threw the ball just under 30 times, connected at a high enough clip, and then hit 2 deep shots.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. That's all we needed from him. Hats off to Bo, man. He played probably the best game I've ever seen him play.
Ever.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's debatable. Like, we can talk stat wise, he's had better games, but as far as like number of yards, he's had better games and he's done more miraculous stuff. Yeah, but he did exactly what you need him to do as a quarterback yesterday.
Yeah, it's not about yards, right? Yeah. It's about efficiency. He was efficient. Yeah, we didn't need him to go out there and beat the world. We've never needed that from him. But You know what? Ball placement was good. His touch on his balls were good. The throws to the flats were accurate. God damn it. His touch on his throws were good. But it was a great game all the way around. And as a result, the receivers stepped up as well and did their part. And it's the significance of it being a road game for him too. I think is significant for his confidence. Now we have much maligned road Bo, so I think it's important to acknowledge that he went out there and did this on the road.
Exactly.
Yes.
I don't care if it was in Arkansas. Like, I don't. There is, the media thought this team was so good that they kept them ranked in the top 25 after 2 straight losses.
Right.
And they tossed us out after we lost to 2, literally top 10 teams. Right. So if he can go on the road and do that to that team, I think that Sam Pittman is a great coach, and that's a well-coached team over there. But I thought it was impressive, and that's where I'm at about it. I feel hope after that game. If we can duplicate that at home versus Ole Miss, and they can pull off that win, and we're sitting here at 6-2, then, man, like, what a great position to be in, literally in control of our own destiny in the SEC West.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
What more can you ask for?
And I think too, one of the things that we've always have bemoaned as Auburn fans is playing an 11 o'clock morning game, and also playing on the road, right? To see us look prepared in both phases of the game, like on the road and playing a morning game in year 1 of Hudson, I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by that because if we continue to look prepared, then those little things that we as fans have been worried about, that starts to dissipate, right? So I'm encouraged by that. Mike G, you mentioned Bo. Let's go ahead and get to the player of the game.
Yes, sir.
Runaway.
Bo
Nix.
No question.
21 of 26, 292 yards, just 8 yards short of 300. 2 TDs through the air. He also carried the ball 5 times on the ground for 44 yards and a score, including the dagger at the end to put the game away. And the advanced statistics were really kind to him. He graded out really high offensively. QBR rating, NFL rating of 121, had 2 big-time throws, one to Robertson, the other to Javarius Johnson. His adjusted completed percentage, because there was actually only 1 drop recorded, we'll get into that as well. His adjusted completion percentage was 81%. Bo had a really good game. And I know some people may want to point to the interception, but let's add some context to that. According to the advanced statistics, he only threw 1 turnover-worthy play. He only had 1 turnover-worthy play. Now, that interception comes a bit more something we harp on if he had more turnover-worthy plays in that game, right? Because now it's a matter of it could have been more turnovers. He only made really 1 bad play. The incompletions that he threw were some smart incompletions. There was 1 throw that was a tough throw that he threw on that levels concept. I think the Luke Deal tried to reach out for. That was just a tough throw to make and catch to make, period, because Bo literally was throwing across his body to make that play. But otherwise, Bo just played a crisp game, and something I heard a commenter say, he played under control. We weren't asking him to be backyard Bo. He stayed in the pocket. He climbed the pocket. He did a lot of the things that the coaching staff wanted him to do. He did it really well. And so kudos to him. Any more thoughts? I know you were kind of low on Bo. You alluded yesterday that you got some crow you got to eat, but just talk about Bo's performance yesterday.
Yes, when we do these segments, man, I'm going to have a crow. We got to come up with a crow eating segment, like a nice little graphic of a pie with crow in it and some announcement of music, because we've all had that. I like to remind Mike G of how much he loved LSU early, and that didn't work out very well.
They got the win yesterday.
Yeah,
when you said they wouldn't, so it was great. Either way, they let you down no matter what. But I was low on Bo because I had seen what looked like the coaches trying to get him to play cerebral professional football and him struggling with it, really breaking a lot of habits that have built up over years. And if you're asking me, which was nobody did, but this is a show where we talk. So can you get a guy to break his habits, lifelong habits? Since he started playing football, his dad didn't coach it out of him because it was winning his dad games as the head coach of the team he played for. And Gus didn't try to get it out of him. And he wasn't willing to sit him to teach him a lesson. I was not sure that Hudson and company could get these habits out of Bo and adapt his determination and his motivation to being a more focused, more disciplined quarterback. I had seen 4 games this year where he looked bad, and for me, that was enough. Well, 3 games where he looked bad, 1 game we look all right, but I was like, nah, that's it. Because I've seen 2 years of him looking subpar, and I've seen some critical games this year of him not looking the part. Even if it's possible, it's going to take too long. Give me somebody else. Show me somebody else that has a chance of picking this up, that doesn't have years of bad habits to work through. But the coaching staff, again, to their credit, they said, this is our dude. We see enough from him to know that he is about to turn the corner, or he has. I don't know which it is. And we think he can do it. And what we got from Hudson at the Georgia State game was he is willing to hold Bo accountable for bad play. And people have been talking about that. I think that was that by itself may have been the difference. Listen, man, I get it. You got habits. You may understand what we're doing in practice, but if you get in that game, you know how your moms, when we go in this store, don't be touching nothing. Don't be running around. You stay right by me and do what I say. Don't you embarrass me. Because if we have to come back out to this car, you know what's going to happen. That's what it was. And it was needed because he took that lesson and we saw a better Bo from there forward. The Georgia game didn't give us the results that we wanted, but we saw some habits start to turn the corner, man. He needs that credit. And Hudson needs the credit because I have no confidence this would have happened under our last coach. None at all. Everybody who is celebrating Bo, this was his best game ever. That was a great game. This is what, when we heard 5-star, I didn't think LSU a backyard Bo. I thought this game, when he was coming in, I had seen his clips. The last game he played against Arkansas was what I thought we were getting when we got him. And it took 2.5 years and a benching and a lot of criticism for us to get here. But man, we're finally here. I'm very encouraged by that. I'm thrilled. About time. I give him credit, give Bo credit. I had bailed on the young man, but I'm glad the people who are making those decisions did not, because they knew what they were doing.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can say much more than that. He played again, as far as I'm concerned, the best game I've ever seen him play in an Auburn uniform. It wasn't just throwing; it was well-timed run plays where he showed his athleticism. He showed everything that you needed to be able to see from the talents that he does possess. The zip on the ball on some routes that were to the sidelines. He threw the deep routes well. He ran when he needed to run. He threw the ball away when he was supposed to throw it away. Other than the interception, which, again, it's not time to harp on negatives. Other than that, there is not a single thing that I think I have a criticism of Bo Nix on. Now, there are some things, again, when we go watch the film tomorrow, I'm going to point out some stuff and y'all are going to swear I'm nitpicking. That I'm not trying to take away from the fabulous game he had. There are just some things that if you go back and look at the film, he actually could have done 1 or 2 things better. And that's hard to say when he had such a great game. And so, yeah, props to him, props to the entire everybody who was a pass catcher. For ball came your way, you did your job.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mike G, final thoughts on player of the game? Anything you want to add?
Listen, they managed him well. Listen, he only threw 3 balls beyond 20 yards in this game. That's it. He completed 2 of them, and 1 was an interception, right? And I think that was, we talked about that versus Penn State, right? Because they let Clifford throw only 5 of those passes while Bo threw 10. The bottom line is that's a low percentage throw. Throwing it 10 plus times downfield, they took those throws and they injected them back into the running game. And then on the few opportunities that he got, he connected on 2 of them, and they were both touchdowns.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how he's got to play, man. We do not need Bo to throw the ball 45 times a game. We just need to give him higher percentage throws, which they did. Again, I thought he threw with incredible touch yesterday. There was an underrated pass to Malcolm Johnson that he threw on like an out toward the sideline.
RPO.
Perfectly thrown. Right. And he put just enough touch on it and put it in a place. Malcolm went to the ground to catch it, but it was going to be Malcolm or nobody.
Or nobody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, that's more of what I want to see. Teams are going to force us to do that. Listen, Ole Miss saw the tape. They're not going to be convinced. I saw somebody put it in the chat. They said, are we here? Are we here? Is he going to be consistent? Right. Yeah, that is the question. Yeah. Can we see it again? To yesterday's game gives us hope that he raised his ceiling. He raised the ceiling yesterday so that we can say, yes, if he can do that again, we have a chance to win every single game.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just really super encouraged. I think you just have to give this kid has been much maligned. Right. You know, a lot of us in media or whatever have been doing the maligning. So like, I think it's important to just say he had a great game. Hats off to the coaches as well, too. It seemed like they took, listen, I don't care what anybody says. Bo, you know, somebody asked Bo in the post game about, you know, hey, what was different in practice? He said, there's a little bit of a cap, but he said, I'm the same guy. No, you were not. No, you were not the same guy. And it was clear to me that they looked at the tape of what happened last week. They worked on some things.
Yeah.
They definitely worked on some things this week.
I mean, other players admitted this was the best Sunday of practice that they've had.
Ever had. Right.
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, like, listen, you know, whatever they did, you know, there was a report that he took only 60% of the snaps as well, too.
Right.
Right. So there was with Finley taking 40%, there was a significant threat that if he did not perform, he would get pulled in this one. And he just went out there and just made it a non-conversation from the first drive.
I don't think anybody was sitting on the sidelines like, man, when is Finley getting in the game? No,
nobody's
playing amazing.
Yeah, nobody's clamoring for the backup when you're playing like that, right?
And everyone's getting the ball. Like, he's spreading the ball around as well.
10
so
it's just different guys.
Yeah.
10 different guys caught passes yesterday.
Yeah.
10 different guys, man. So I looked at the advanced stats. They were very kind. Our offensive line did a phenomenal job. Bo was under pressure only 17% of his dropbacks yesterday. Yeah. 17%. You know, now the run blocking was hard, but that's because that's what they're playing. They don't want Tank and Jarquez to beat us. It's a better prospect for teams to try to make Bo beat them, and they did. And that should be if you're Bo, I'm in my head, I'm thinking you can make that bet for the rest of the year if you want to.
Right.
Right? He should make that a bad bet for every team that's going to try to do that between now and the end of the year. I'm telling you, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Hats off to him. He had a great game.
Stuart Donald, appreciate you, man, for the super chat. Before we move on, I'm feeling better about my bet on Auburn's over and under win total. I haven't seen you in the comments. Did you say what that was? I'm curious to hear from you what your number was. You said it was 7?
It was 7. Yeah, for the beginning of the season when we did our betting with B Will Primer, we did
appreciate
win
that,
totals.
John Brandon.
And it was 7, and I took the over. Stu said he had actually taken the over back when it was 6, and it got bumped up to 7. But yeah, if you thought that this coaching staff was good, that win total was completely a bet on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Are they going to make the right decisions? Right now at 5 wins, 7 is a push, 8 is money. We're looking good.
Agreed. Well, guys, let's get into our University Ace Hardware tools of the game, shall we?
The University Ace Hardware tools to the game.
So mine is obvious. It's just the AU passing offense because of basically what Mike G talked about. Only one recorded drop. That was the drop by Landon King, who he has a bright future. I'm excited about him in the offense. I'm excited seeing him get some opportunities. Kobe Hudson graded out as the best receiver yesterday. 3 targets, 3 receptions. We're going to get into him a little bit later. He was great in open space. But I got to give some, if we're giving love to people who've been much maligned, and we talked about Bo, got to talk about Shed. Shed had 5 targets, 5 receptions. Shed had 61 yards. And Demetrius Robertson, who also had the most yards because of that big play at 81 yards, 2 receptions, 2 targets, a TD. What I liked with our passing game is we put the right guys in right positions on the field. I like that Shed was used as a possession receiver. He wasn't used in bubble screens. He wasn't used as much. He wasn't used on go routes. We put guys who can take the top off the defense. That's who was catching those passes. So I like what we were doing. I like the different kind of throws Bo was making. I like that we got a lot of different tight ends involved. Luke Deal, I think this is perhaps his most productive game in terms of pass catching. We know what he can do in terms of blocking, but he had an amazing game there. And to Mike's point, the pass is there because teams are trying to take away the run. And it's not that the run game is struggling. It's just that we're at a point in time in the season where there's a lot of tape and film on how to try to beat Auburn. That's an old adage that you make teams do what they're not comfortable doing. Auburn wants to run the football, so make them try to beat you throwing. And it just so happened to work out yesterday that we were able to do that. So that is my University Ace Hardware tools to game. Mike G, what is yours, sir?
Mine is offensive line play. They pulled Austin Troxell finally.
Yeah.
And they put in Killian, and he graded out really well in pass blocking for his first start.
Yeah.
You know, he got a 70% grade, 70.9, I think was his grade. Now, everybody graded out pretty well, but I thought in his first start, he went out there and kind of showed why he should stay in that spot moving forward. Now, again, no shot to Troxell, but, you know, I just don't think that was – I don't think he was meeting standards there at left tackle. When we reviewed the tape, he was getting beat a lot. It was just time to – you can't change out your whole line. But the left tackle spot is so important, man. That's the guy protecting your quarterback's blind side. So, you know, for as much as people thought that Bo has been running for his life, if you were in that camp, then shoring up left tackle was always going to be really, really important. And Bo had plenty of time to throw. And offensive line play was a lot. So credit to the coaches again, you know, just make that tweak. But I thought offensive line play was definitely my tool to the game there in pass blocking.
All right, talk to me, man. What's yours?
University Ace Hardware tools of the game for me. I am going to give some props to Mike Bobo and the game he called. Offensively, I think he took shots where he was supposed to take shots. I think he kept them off balance. We didn't run the ball particularly effectively, but we ran it enough to keep Arkansas's defense honest, to make sure that those play actions were open and they had the ability for a higher percentage completion, because they had to respect the fact that we hadn't given up on the run game, even though it wasn't particularly being effective as far as yards per play. Tank Bigsby was running hard and he had some stuff that he was doing, but Bobo did a good job of mixing it up and making sure that we got the ball out of Bo's hands quickly. In a lot of instances, they were running sideline to sideline a lot, and then he took the shots downfield where we needed to. So Mike Bobo, man, shouts out to you for this game, for calling a really great game.
B. Will, what's yours, sir?
My University Ace Hardware tool to the game is going to be coaching this game and probably for the rest of the season, because what we saw were personnel changes. That's a coaching decision. We saw effective play calling, like Ike said, that's coaching. We saw, or at least we heard reports that splitting reps first team after a Georgia game, which you weren't the biggest problem, Bo, but we're going to keep somebody breathing down your throat. That's a coaching decision to keep the heat on them, to make sure you get the best out of them. And it worked. Even down to the celebration. There was a video circulating the celebration. Alan Green posted it of how they reacted when Brian Harsin, he was coming from the press. He was dapping up all the coaches and the staff. And he went into that huddle, into that locker room with those players. They didn't look, I mean, they got the win. Of course, they were going to be happy. But, man, you see how they embraced him. And we've seen that now. For every game that they win, that team has bought in, man. That's the biggest thing. The team believes, even through losses. They said they had the best practice of the season after the biggest loss of the season. That's coaching. That's mentality changing. That's the culture changing. And even as myself and some of us have lamented that we didn't think we were getting the best guys on the field at times. Well, the guys that they stuck with had their best games ever. Shed, no drops. Bo, the best game I have ever seen him play yesterday. After I questioned if he should even be the starter.
Yeah.
these decisions, that these buttons that they are pushing aren't just about X's and O's. It is culture. It is discipline. And we knew that we were missing that, but I don't think I realized just how much until really the last 2 weeks of this season. So I'm giving the key. It's got to be what the coach is doing. That's the tool to the game.
J Rock gave a super chat. Appreciate you. I think, and this is to echo your points, B, I think the process and believing in the process is starting to show. Also, the coaching is on another level. To your point, B, I think the accountability for some of the key guys and the people who you're expecting to be leaders is in place. Those guys aren't allowed to underperform to the coaching standards, and there's consequences that come if you continue to do that. And so I think that's what I'm hearing when I'm hearing that TJ Finley was taking a good bit of reps on Sunday, that Bo realizes I need to play better and fast. Right. And so and that's a shout out to everyone else on that team as well. Like, if you want to be the guy, if you want to play, you have to prepare. Preparation is a big part of what this team is about. So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about this. Scotty Davis, appreciate you, man, for that $5 super chat. We appreciate you. Also, welcome new member Rick.
What's up?
Appreciate you.
No K. Rick, no K.
Yeah,
get it right.
Yeah.
So
while we're talking about new members, it's a bye week. So I got to find something to do with my Saturday now that we got a bye week coming. And as a member, we're bringing you guys a special segment next week because there will be no film to review from that Saturday. We're actually doing a special segment with former Auburn receiver and pro NFL receiver Devin Aroma Shadu. Ben Obamanu and Courtney Taylor are all coming on a special watch the film segment to talk about wide receiver play. You don't want to miss this. Nice. We're going to review film. I'm just there for show. I'm to control it. Ike's going to talk with these guys about wide receiver play, and they're going to take us all to school on route running and pass catching. I can't wait for it.
Oh man, you guys definitely don't want to miss that. And that should be if you're not an insider, come on. Like, you don't want to miss out on that. That's $5.99 well spent. So also too, as part of Tools of the Game, if you're watching this on replay, talk about what you saw that was a key to the game, a big thing that you saw that contributed to Auburn winning. We definitely want to hear from you guys on that as well. We also have a new little segment that we want to do here, that we want to talk about our innovative financial smart moves of the game. And we got two. We got one on offense, and then we got one on defense. So let's start with offense first. You guys ready for this?
Yes, indeed.
So the first one is this.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this one right here. Kobe Hudson putting them on them skates real quick, baby.
Listen, they ran into each other.
Yeah, man.
They ran into each other.
This is just a nice bubble screen. I like the the way that we've got the blocking out here on the outside as well. A little bit of a hole there. Not gonna.
Oh my god.
But the skates were amazing on that one right there, man.
Yeah, Kobe. He looks like a natural wide receiver, does he not?
He does.
Yeah. You know, we have so much talent. When these guys get the ball in space, special things happen, man. I was impressed. I've been impressed with him this season.
Yeah, definitely like the way he's playing, man.
And I'm happy for him too. Obviously he's showing that he's somebody that you can definitely put in space and he'll make plays for you when you need to. Because I saw that play going nowhere, and he basically got us the first down on that play. So big ups to him. Second one is as follows. This is on the defense. I think you guys pretty much already know which one this is, but Ike, you can take it away.
Yeah, what we're going to go with here is a play that changed the momentum in this game. The strip sack. Derek Hall around the outside, transitioning speed to power. We've talked about this before. He comes around the outside and he gets the strip sack. Ball is clearly out. And then the awareness here for Marcus Harris to go get on this ball. Zakoby McClain had a full head start. Marcus Harris still beat him to the ball.
Look at the technique to punch the ball out from the other side.
Echo Leota was right there. This was going to be a safety one way or the other, but Derek Hall gets the strip sack. This was a momentum-changing play for us in the game right there. So definitely a big play right there. Innovative financial solutions. Smart move.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Derek Hall so far this season, man. He has
Yeah.
been a monster. And
Yeah.
I think such a surprise, probably. Well, not a surprise. I'm sure Derek Mason knows what he's got there. But for fans, it's been a treat to watch him play so far this year.
I think it's also been encouraging too, seeing guys like him, Kobe Wooden, also Eku Leota. Like these guys are generating a lot of pressure. And with a guy like KJ Jefferson, for us to get as much pressure and the sacks that we got, that's encouraging moving forward. That our guys can definitely, without having to bring pressure, disrupt some things in the timing of their offense in the passing game. So I'm excited about that. So that's something that we'll be doing moving forward. These two are your innovative financial smart moves to the game. Remember, guys, for your financial solutions, be sure to go to ethandawe.com, or you can contact them directly. You can email them at ethandawe or ethan@ethandawe.com. This is also a reminder, guys, that you are watching the Weekend Tailgate. We take time at this point to mention our sponsors.
The War Rapport's Weekend Tailgate Show is brought to you by our generous sponsors. University Ace Hardware, located at 2101 East University Drive in Auburn, Alabama, right across the street from the Auburn Mall and next to the movie theater. For all of your hardware needs, Ace is the place. Our betting partner, BUSR. Bet with confidence at busr.com/report. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn sports, head over to auburnsports.com. And our giveaway sponsor, GWT2 Energy. If you want the best in the business at restaurant logistics, check out our friends at GWT2energy.com.
All right, Mike G, any announcements, sir?
Oh, man, listen, if you missed it at the top of the broadcast, we're giving away a t-shirt, hashtag get your weight up in the comments. Get your spelling up, because if you spell it wrong, then you will not be entered. Hashtag get your weight up at the 1 hour mark. We're going to pull. This is brought to you by GWT2energy.com. That's our guy, Walt Taylor, in the comments. So thank Walt for these giveaways every week. Our merch store is live, so if you don't win the t-shirt, you can just buy one. Visit our merch store. The link for this is in the About section of our YouTube channel. You can also go to www.thewarreport.com, and it will take you straight to our merch store. We're raffling off Wednesday 2 more tickets to the Ole Miss game. Come on, guys. We've been giving away tickets all season. You don't even have to be an insider to enter this one. You just have to come. You must be a subscription, though. You have to be subscribed to the War Rapport, so no randos. We're not giving away tickets to Bammers. Hopefully we recognize you. We interact with you guys regularly, but join Wednesday's show to get into this raffle. We're going to raffle that off. Last but certainly not least, listen, we're on podcast, guys. We're trying to get these numbers up. So please go over to Apple Podcasts, go over to Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever you listen to your podcasts on, and download our episodes, subscribe to the War Rapport, and then leave us a review so that they know that we're awesome and we can climb the podcast charts. We're working hard to bring you guys even more podcast content in the future.
Appreciate that, good sir. And also appreciate that Lisa Wise. She's fired up about that special Watch the Film. I.
We are too.
Those guys are looking forward to being a part of it. I'm excited about that. We just try to give you guys some great content on the bye week. We know things slow down significantly, not much news. Hopefully it won't be a lot of news during the bye week. Those guys can get rested up.
Yeah, so be clear, that's not tomorrow. Tomorrow we're still doing our normal Arkansas Watch the Film. It's next Monday we'll have the trio on.
Yeah, bye week content.
For sure. Well, guys, listen, let's get into it. Let's discuss the War Rapport card versus Arkansas. Let's go ahead and start with coaching off rip. Those are the side to sides, just general information. Our 20 first downs to Arkansas's 29. We had the most penalties and most yardage at 6 and 49. But that stat right there, the time of possession, even though it was just only 6 seconds, we still managed to control more clock, which was a big, important part of what we want to do. We definitely want to keep Arkansas off the field as much as possible. I felt like we did a good job of that. Third down percentage, we were 4 of 10 to Arkansas's 10 of 19, and didn't have to go for it on fourth. Arkansas was 0 for 3 on fourth down, and we were perfect in the red zone. My grade for coaching overall, I will give is a B+. I was very pleased with what I saw offensively. Defensively, I wasn't crazy about the game plan, but we did limit a lot of big play ability from Arkansas. We allowed them to kind of dink and dunk, nickel and dime us here and there and run plays. I would have liked to have seen us be a bit more dominant, but we'll get to that in terms of the run defense. But my grade overall is a B+. What you got, B?
My grade's an A because of all the reasons I've already stated. But even though the defense was giving up a lot of yardage and we gave up 29 first downs to our 23 points. The defense gave up 23 points and scored 7 points for us. Now, the yardage was a lot, and they were about to go over the edge with the number of snaps they had if they didn't get off of the field with that turnover when they did. So that was huge, but they did that. Now, I don't know if that was a call specifically from Mason that they saw something after half, like, okay, listen, we can get them right here. We can make a difference right here. Either way, I'm grading this on the result. The result was outstanding performances on both sides of the ball, calls at the right time, game plans were sound for the most part. So I'll go A.
Ike, what's your grade?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with C-Dub and go B+ on this one. I don't think that our, I would give offensive coaching an A+, right? Like, I don't think that defensive coaching was necessarily an issue. Like, I understand people want to beat up on Derek Mason's scheme. I still think that that's more of an execution than it is we're in the wrong thing at the wrong. Like, I didn't find, man, why did you call that defensive scheme at that? There was a couple of times where I was like, why did we blitz in that situation? Or why did we go man right here? Which is why that grade is going to come down for coaching. B+ overall, I could even go A- on this because I don't think that the coaching is necessarily the issue with why the defense is playing the way that it is. I think overall we've got really good schemes that we're doing. We just got to have players that are out there executing at a little bit higher level. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do the A- on that. A-.
Mike G.
I'm gonna go A on this one. Listen, I think they did everything they wanted to do. They had a good game plan. They understood how Arkansas was going to attack them. And first and foremost, they got the team up for this game.
Yeah. On
the road, 11 a.m., they got them up. We looked prepared and ready and motivated. Last week's mistakes did not show up this week. And they forced KJ Jefferson to throw the ball more than 30 times, which is something, if you look at previous stats, that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to run the ball down our throats. They ran significantly more plays than we did, but those time of possession stats are kind of skewed by the fact that we had a couple of really, really short scoring drives. Right. Both there was a bomb in the beginning. The one to Robertson was like a 1 or 2 play drive or something.
Right. That was a one play. It was only one play.
One play drive, right? Where he just throws a bomb and then our defense is right back on the field. So, we didn't. That kind of skewed time of possession a little bit. So in my mind, we won that a little more than the stats will show. The only thing that was a little disappointing to me was the third down conversion stats are a little, there's some room for improvement there, but I got to give it an A, man. It's a win on the road in the SEC. That's West is just brutal this year.
Agreed. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. I think this is pretty simple. Let's talk special teams. Had 1 punt return for 8 yards, 4 punts, 191 yards. Carlson was 1 for 1. That turned out to be a very important field goal because it allowed us to force Arkansas to have to score a touchdown and actually kick an extra point or score a 2-point conversion in order to tie the game before Bo ultimately put the game away. So special teams was there when we needed them. I just simply give them an A here. Ike, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go solid A on this one as well. Nothing outstanding happened on special teams. Nothing disastrous happened on special teams. So, not too much to talk about here. Solid A, no mistakes, no outstanding plays. A.
Mike G.
Same, A. Like, we're not sitting here talking about how they failed us. So A.
Correct. Be Will.
Yeah, same. Hey.
All right. So let's go to defense. Read out some of the stats here. So on defense, Jefferson had 35 attempts, 21 completions for 228 yards, 2 scores. On one of those touchdowns he just made a play, like the jump pass, and then found the guy still after his main read went down. He just made some plays there. He rushed Arkansas rushed 54 times for 232 yards and a score. We had 92 total tackles. A lot of plays this defense was on the field for. 48 solo, 44 assisted, 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, the fumble recovery. Obviously, that was a very important part of the game. 3 QB hurries. I'm kind of torn. I want to give him a B. I'm leaning towards a B minus defensively here. I think this defense, and I was talking to a guy this week or last week about how they miss the whole Kevin Steele, the aggressive, but the defense is just different. It's just a different defense. We're keeping everything in front of us, bend but don't break. And when you on the field as long as we are, you're going to give up 460 total yards. That's impressive when you consider how many snaps Arkansas got off against us.
Yeah.
So we gave up 232 yards. We had a fax and all. We didn't think that we were going to give up under 60 yards in rushing.
Y'all didn't think.
I was about to say, because I definitely said we would.
I said, nah, we're going to give
said
up.
nah. I said nah. But and I thought, listen.
I thought we had a chance to do better than that, though. But yeah.
I mean, hey, one can only hope. But
yeah.
I'm gonna give the defense a B minus. I didn't think our safeties particularly had a great day outside of Smoke coming up and run. I think we took some bad angles at times. So this is a kind of a learning experience for the safeties. McCreary had an amazing game. He balled out in the secondary. But I think we did fairly well against what we've seen Arkansas do to other teams in terms of their offense overall. So a B minus for me. B Will, what's your grade?
I say B minus as well. I mean, I'm with Ike in that I think it's a personnel and execution issue. Brand new scheming system. When we go to man at times, that's when you see guys like McCreary come in and flash and make big plays like he made in that game, because man, he's want to get after it, man. They want to be right in on it. And I know zone is hard for these dudes, but they're learning, just like we giving the offense some leeway to learn and figure it out, because they didn't learn this system prior. Well, the defense didn't either. So we got to give them the same amount of grace. And they seem to be getting better week to week. I think Arkansas was just a tough matchup because they have a quarterback that can run so well. So I'm not knocking them for the defense for actually getting run on some. I think it was inevitable, but they came up with plays when we absolutely had to have that stop that they got, or else it was going to be that Arkansas ground game was going to start leaning on us the way Georgia did in the second half. And they said, nope. And they got that strip sack in the end zone. And then they came up with a 3-and-out right after that. Like they brought the hard hat, man. So it's hard for me to be too down on them. I'm just going to say solid B. Results. I'm leaning more results. If we wanted to nitpick, we could, but the results were 23 points. You gave us 7 points on the board, and you got off the field and gave our offense a chance to shine. Solid B.
Mike G.
I'm going with a B, solid B as well too. It's hard. Like, listen, when I looked at the film yesterday as I was chopping, and somebody, Ed Darby, Ed's my guy, Ed. The way that certain services record tackles for a loss, they all do it differently. And I counted 10 tackles for loss in this game. And that's significant because as much as we bemoan the pressure we're not getting on the quarterback, our defensive line, our linebackers are in the backfield a lot, right? To the tune of we are ranked 5th in the country in tackles for loss. So when people say they miss Kevin Steele's defense, I would just kindly remind you that Kevin Steele left a bottom 10 third down defense in the country. Right? That's what he left Derek Mason. So there was definitely some improvement that needed to be done from the defensive side. And
Yeah.
they did it, right? So, like, I mean, they forced KJ Jefferson to throw the ball more than he wanted to. I went back and I looked at his previous throws, 2011, right? Like, right where they want a quarterback who is not a dynamic arm talent to live. And we made him throw it 35 times. That was always going to be a losing proposition for Arkansas. So you got to give them credit for forcing Arkansas out of their comfort zone, you know, going out there, making plays, being in the backfield. It was a B. I mean, there was some things that were left to be desired there. So it wasn't a perfect performance, but I was not unhappy with what they were able to accomplish.
And let's be clear, when people say they miss Kevin Steele, in my opinion, not that he's not a bad coordinator, people really say they just miss Derek Brown. They miss those guys along the D line who made that defense ridiculously good because it took the pressure off the next two levels to produce, because they were so disruptive up front. I mean, it was easy to play linebacker behind those guys. It was easy to play secondary behind those guys because the play was already jacked up at times when they were disrupting stuff. What you got?
But apparently it wasn't easy to play defensive end on the line with those guys because Big Cat came up with practically nothing the entire time they were here. That's all. Go ahead.
I like how you went. I like
shot
that.
at Big
I
Cat.
like
Big
that
Cat
shot.
shot.
I like that shot. I like that shot. That was a great shot.
Interesting.
Ike, what's your grade, man?
Yeah, I'm going to go solid B on this one as well. I could be a little bit rougher because of the third and long situations that we constantly surrendered to them. Shout out to the ref with a very great block on one of those plays. But overall, I think we had a solid defensive performance. Look, you can't ignore the fact that a team that is as good running the ball as Arkansas is going to get off on you on the run. But you also can't ignore the fact that a team that is as good running the ball as Arkansas got stopped on 3rd and short and 4th and short multiple times. This defense bowed up when it needed to. When they got in the red zone, they made it difficult. Outside of the fake jump pass that ended up being a touchdown, the defense was really good in the red zone. And that was really kind of a fluky play anyway. We did a good job defensively. Not great, right? It was good, not great. It can definitely be better. Arkansas, gets a lot of credit for just poor execution on their part, some drop passes, stuff like that. But I think overall, we did a decent job defensively. It's looking up overall. If your offense can keep your defense fresh, then you see a defense that's late in the game in the 4th quarter that's able to bow up even more and give you a little bit more intensity in those stops that you need late game to put you in a position to put the game away.
Thanks.
Agreed.
This is why both of those things is a symbiotic relationship.
Yin and yang.
B for the defense.
Let's talk about the offense. Save the best for last here. We went 21 for 26 for 292 yards, 2 scores. We rushed 35 times for 135 yards, 2 scores as well, 1 interception. So we had a 26 pass, 35 balance type of ratio there. Guys, because of the game plan and because of what defenses are asking us to do, I'm giving the offense an A- here. It's just a lot to like. I mean, I'm very pleased with how this offense performed. The defense did not have to be dominant and shut down because our offense was actually moving the ball, sustained drives. They were actually, when the big shots were there, we took them and they worked. So I was happy for the execution. Bo had an amazing game, and it took pressure off of our guys, Tank, Hunter, those running backs, to have to produce with defenses crowding the box. And so I was pleased with that. Receivers caught passes. The execution was much better. So I'm here to reward those guys when they do what they're supposed to do. A- from me. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go exactly the same score again. A- on the offensive production. I wanted to see us run the ball a little bit more effectively, but again, it's going to be difficult when the box is crowded, or not even when it's the box is crowded, but when your linebackers and your safeties are reacting so ferociously to the run. I like what Mike Bobo did, again, from a scheme standpoint, to make sure that we were doing a lot more sweeps and runs to the outside so that we can try to out leverage the box crowding. And then wide receivers blocking decently on the outside, allowing for some of that tight end play. Man, I listen, I went back and I counted the number of targets tight ends So non-receivers had just as many targets as receivers in this game. So if you count tight ends and running backs, an equal distribution to non-receivers and receivers in the pass game. So Bo Nix did a good job of looking for those opportunities in the middle of the field a lot, where a place where he has not typically been productive in the middle of the field. Against this type of defense that has been susceptible to seam routes, you're going to have those tight ends be open. He did a good job of checking it down to running backs when necessary. I just think overall the offensive execution of the game plan, wide receivers catching, Bo Nix throwing, offensive line giving time when necessary, Bo Nix staring down blitzes or rushers and still delivering accurate passes. Execution of the game plan was definitely an A- for me today. I loved everything that we did offensively, minus some of the run blocking scenarios. That fumble that Jarquez Hunter had, that was a missed block actually caused that, right? So the lead blocker absolutely whiffed on his block. Jarquez Hunter gets eaten up in the backfield. Overall, though, A-.
Mike G.
I'm going just a flat A. Again, credit to Bo in this game. I thought he helped set the tone for this game early. I thought his performance injected a lot of life for everybody else. And once they figured out what kind of game he was going to have, it just picked everybody else up. The only reason this isn't an A+ for me is because it's just the run blocking, right? But I'm not really super down on them because, again, we said it over and over, teams are going to stack the box and try to stop the run. These aren't pansies that we're going up against, man. This is the SEC West. They've got athletes. If they're going to sell out, you're going to have to take what's there, right? And the days of just line up and run it against teams, I mean, that only works if you're playing an inferior opponent.
Right.
Right. If you're playing an opponent that's a worthy opponent, you're not going to be able to just go strength on strength and win 90% of the time. You got to take what's there. I think that it was clear that they were willing to give up the pass, and the receivers showed up.
Yeah.
We thought the deal had a drop. They actually changed that after the grade, so there was only one drop by Landon King. And it was funny. I tweeted, hey, man, Landon's got to catch that. And he actually liked it, so he understands that he should have laid out for that ball.
Either that or he's trying to make note of that later when he makes an amazing catch to come back.
Yeah, right. So come back. Right, so,
Depending on his level of petty, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Bo was he was just running around making plays, and that pass was not super on target, but it was not going to be. You got to lay out for that. You got to help your quarterback there. He extended the play and then just got a ball there, and you got to catch it. I think that was a third down too.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I mean, again, that's a nitpick. Hard to nitpick much about what they did offensively because Arkansas just made it clear what their plan to stop us was going to be. We executed, and we got 30 points for the first time offensively in SEC play. That's super important. I thought we have said that was the mark for winning games moving forward. We got to find a way to get to 30 points. Our defense chipped in another 7, but we scored 31 points offensively in this game. It was balanced. I thought we actually did, despite the run totals, we ran the ball more than we passed it in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, they did not abandon the run.
Yep.
Right.
And I keep stressing, man, we did to them what Georgia did to us last week.
Yeah.
Change the names of the teams and just flip the winner and the loser, man. And this is exactly what Georgia did to us last week. So, we went up against what turned out to be, not as good an opponent and did the same thing to them. There's more of those, more Arkansas left on this schedule. Hey, do more. Show me more.
Yep.
B. Will, did you give your grade?
No, but it was A. Same reasons everybody else came. Yeah, man, we did too well. If without the pick, it would have been an A+. That's the only nitpick I could have had. So it's a solid A, and I liked it.
Appreciate this, man. 4LG Zay, or 4 large Zay. Guys, what do we do to execute the run, or what do we need to do to execute the run way better? Force more people out of the box defensively. You do that by a passing game. And I saw a comment earlier by Ed Darby talking about our short passing game being a supplement to our running game. I like that we got Tank out of the backfield with a pass. Like that was a first down. Like you got to come up with creative ways to get Tank and Hunter the ball, as opposed to just expecting to line up in the I formation and hand off and not expect teams to just play downhill against it. So I think you come up with creative ways to get those guys loose and get them an open field and keep them balanced. Keep them honest. They're not playing downhill against our run because they're anticipating it. Now they, in the back of their mind, I could get beat behind me. That creates those running lanes for Tank and Hunter to run through, especially late in games. So I think, in short, that's the solution for Auburn. We just got to throw the ball until teams get out of the box and play us honest.
Yeah.
It's draw time, guys.
Oh man, I'm slipping because I didn't even pull it up on the other screen. It is recording. I didn't slip and not do that, but I need to get this pulled up over here. Let me just acknowledge this comment. I'm not looking at it right now because I'm trying to get this screen shared. Somebody said advice for us is to try to acknowledge all chats, not just super chats. There are literally hundreds of chats. There's no way we're going to be able to acknowledge every chat that comes up on the screen. So we apologize, and we should give that disclaimer more often. We're not intentionally disregarding anybody's stuff. I'd probably read the vast majority of them, but we try to make sure that we do give preferential treatment to people who decide to super chat, because that's really the only way to be fair about it. Because if I just pick and choose, then there's no way that we can do that with hundreds of people chatting in at a time. We appreciate all of you who tune in and chat, and just because you didn't get your chat up on the screen doesn't mean that you are not important to what we're doing here. We appreciate it very much, and we appreciate the support.
Yeah. Would you guys remember when we first started? All we did was talk to super chats. Yeah. And then somewhere around the time
before that, you weren't even super chatting. You were just chatting. And that was
a
big deal.
Listen. And around the time the Gus Bus got a flat tire, the chats became unmanageable. It was insane how many chats were coming in. And I'm big about conversation and community. So I wanted to continue to acknowledge chats, but it got really, really difficult. So, the other forums that listen, if you want to keep the conversation going with us, we are active on social media. If you look at the comment section of these videos, we are regularly in there chopping it up with people. Sure. So it's not live on screen after the fact. And then on Twitter, we're active everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, man, hit us up, dude. We're always willing to have a conversation about football.
Yeah. So again, it's not that we're ignoring anybody. So definitely apologize if it comes off that way. We're just trying to get through a lot of content, and because if we sit here and read all the chats and did all the stuff that we do, we'd be here for 3 hours. And again, I have a job that I have to do outside of this. So
I have a wife who's really patient.
Right. Exactly. I got a wife and a kid. So
really understanding wife.
If you maybe this person is coming over from JG's stream where he's on stream for literally 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does. Oh man, he was complaining about having to use the bathroom last night. Move for 5 hours. I was like, I don't know how he does it. I definitely have to take a break.
All right, 119 is kind of pedestrian here. It's fine. It is what it is. But get your weight up hashtag in the comments. I will go ahead and pull this in 30 seconds regardless, because we do have more stuff we need to get into. Is that why he calls it brain drain? Because he needs to pee? So we the immature comments will never cease from me. I'm sorry. All right, 15 seconds here. Get your weight up hashtag in the comments if you want to get this lovely AU t-shirt. We will draw in 10 seconds.
Before you draw that, Malcolm, this is real talk. I was here when no one was chatting. I was the only one chatting with us. There was a few people too that we knew that they were our friends. Right. Yeah. Those are the only people really our friends, a few people, and we noticed them all. So it's I'm blessed, man, to see, but we have a community where there's another conversation happening right as we're talking and going through our show and the points that we're trying to hit. So again, shout outs to the whole community for doing that, giving people an opportunity to discuss Auburn football amongst themselves as we do with each other. So
cool. All right, let's hit it. Who's going to win the shirt today?
We got. Look at you dirty, Corey.
man,
I
thought
saw
They
Corey
did you
Torrey.
so dirty. Are you here?
I'm so done.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I don't think it ever stood on
Sean.
anyone's name that long ever.
Yeah. Sean, where are you? You gotta
Hey,
be here. You
That
gotta
was
be here.
hilarious. All right, we're good. Sean, we're gonna give you some time to get in here while we move on. But oh man,
You guys continue to look for you guys continue to look for him while I peruse along. Thomas Sanders with the super chat. We get the bye and have home field against Ole Miss. Texas A&M gets a bye and has home field against us. Which game worries you more? That's a
A&M.
tight one.
it's
Probably
probably
A&M
A&M
worries
because
me
of
because they have the better
Yeah,
defense.
and
yeah.
they for whatever reason seem to be play better offensively at home, and we're going on the road there.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know,
yeah.
man. Ole Miss, like our pass defense and how much Ole Miss likes to throw. I believe in Corral.
I do too, but I don't believe in their offensive line, and I don't believe in their defense.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, A&M's defense is a little scary.
The thing with A&M is that they hadn't figured things out offensively, and it seems like at least at home,
Yeah.
they tend to do that. So that game does worry me when you pair that with their dominant defense. So yes, definitely the A&M game concerns me. So, all right, guys, you already know what it is. You already know what time it is.
Come on, Mike.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
What did we see?
All right.
I'm gonna work on that.
So for me, mine is LSU's offseason officially will be very interesting.
Oh yeah, I need to get my guy Tiger Bait Mike back in here to talk about this LSU situation at some point in time.
Yeah, and it seems this is something the LSU fans have been clamoring for. We agreed their win over Florida did very little to anything to save Orgeron's job. And obviously, less than 24 hours later, we were right. He will finish the rest of the season, but the coaching search will start once the regular season ends. So I'm curious to see when
they started negotiating his departure before last week's game.
Right.
Wow.
So nothing that happened this week was going to change it. They had already
Right.
made up their mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm curious to hear what names be thrown out for this job. I'm pretty sure you're here Cincinnati's coach. I'm pretty sure people are going to mention Luke Fickell. I believe someone mentioned what's the coach at Louisiana?
Napier. They got to get him. It's got to be him, man. It's got to be him. That would be a very good pickup for them. But I see him being a backup option. I've heard, AU fan TJ, I've heard Mel Tucker's name get mentioned. The coach at Michigan State. Yeah.
That'll be very interesting too. Seeing
I have no idea why people keep saying Gus's name. Stop.
I would love that.
I would love that.
I ain't mad at it, but
I would like to see that.
Stop.
Yeah. I've heard Franklin's name, James Franklin's name being thrown out. I heard Franklin's name be mentioned.
Franklin is going to be mentioned for every big coaching hire that exists out there.
James Franklin is about to get a serious.
Yeah, Penn State gonna have to come with the bread.
Oh, goodness gracious! He's about to get a super raise in the form of Penn State coughing up the money or him actually leaving. So things are looking good. Like his agent is out here working. Joe Kyle, appreciate you. You guys are doing great with the chats. God bless you, sir. We do what we can. But this off season is going to be interesting because it's not enough just to fire a coach. You got to hire the right guy, right?
Right.
We've seen what schools like Tennessee has done over the past few years. I mean, firing a guy is great, but if you replace him with someone who does an equally or worse job, then you're setting your program back. So I'm interested to see who they hire and if they bring a new culture with them.
This would be so interesting if LSU did not lose another game for the remainder of this season after they told this man he wasn't going to have his job no more. That would be very interesting.
That's actually, I mean, that's
I'm
why
rooting for you, Coach O. You can do it, Coach O. I believe in you, Coach O.
Right. Who was the guy down at Miami? Was it Larry Coker? two
Yeah.
years after they won a national title, and like he got canned, and like there are a few other coaches in recent memory, I think, that have this is a rare like thing where you win a championship. Gene Chizik, obviously,
Clearly.
right, win a championship and then done a few years later. I mean, God, man, college football is just dog eat dog, right? Like, what have you done for me lately? I mean, he probably coached one of the best offensive team in the history of college football. They scored more points than anybody. I mean, the only team that even came close to limiting them offensively was us.
Yeah.
They ran up the score on everybody else. Wow.
Yeah.
And for him to be here right now is just underscores how his hiring tactics were probably like he needed to hire well. And after Joe Brady left, they had no chance.
Yeah, if your success as a coach is based off of your ability to hire an incredibly talented staff, it's difficult. That's a difficult, sustainable model, because if your coaches if your assistants are that good, they have aspirations to move up the coaching ladder. So you got to replace that talent on your coaching staff with guys who are just as good, or if not, and if you miss 1 year, if you miss a hire, you're setting your program back just as important as it would be if you're a head coach. So that's the problem with that model. And Chizik went after some of the brightest minds, guys who were great recruiters. But once you replace those guys, or if their offense or defense became stale, now you got to coach. You got to work with what you got, and you saw that what happens there. So I'm just interested to see. I'm interested to see what happens with LSU in the offseason. Do they continue to ascend, or do they continue being great, or do they fall off the rails like a Tennessee did? So,
yeah.
Who's next?
Let me get this out the way, bro.
Go ahead, bro. Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Knoxville. Come meet me right here.
You want me to make you the big screen there?
Just let me live for a second.
All right.
What in the entire hell was going through y'all's mind last night? Is it because it was a night game and you had been drinking all day? Is that what happened? Is it because you didn't like the fact that Lane Kiffin was coming back to Knoxville and you just had some animosity towards him? Is it because you thought the football field looked like relish and you wanted to add a little mustard to it? I don't know what it was, but let's begin with booing when you thought players who were injured were faking injuries, not waiting to see if they actually were before you did that.
Thanks.
Let's fast forward to your own players going down with injuries in that same time period, and you still not realizing that people were cramping up because of what was happening in the late game. Let's go a little bit further, and actually a correct call by the refs for you all being short on 4th down, and you decide to start hurling things onto the field, not only hitting your own fans in the stadium because your little puny arms couldn't throw the stuff that you were trying to hurl into the field, didn't go far enough, but you were hitting your own band and cheerleaders as well. They had to pause the game with 56 seconds left for a solid 30 minutes plus because you, genius fans, decided it was more important to express your discontent with referees who you had no prayer of actually reaching with whatever you decided to throw onto the field. It was more important for you to get that out than it was for the game to just end when Tennessee actually still had a chance to win in regulation had you just let them continue to play. Knoxville, we're disappointed. We're very disappointed. I will never utter this phrase probably ever. I hope Bama mud stomps y'all next week. I hope y'all get beat so bad because you deserve it. You're welcome. And thank you. You turned what was a disastrous situation preseason into an embarrassing situation for a team that doesn't deserve it. They've been playing a lot better. Thank you. You suck.
And there's that.
That's it. Yeah.
There's that. Yeah, they had an opportunity to be proud of a team that no one, pretty much everyone left for dead because of the trouble they got into in the offseason and players that have departed that program. They took a number 13 team in the country to the max and fell short And instead of being proud of that, you just showed your entire behind. So yeah, that's
I'm looking forward to seeing what fines get levied towards them. I need to see some
Yeah.
statements from the president of the university, the athletic director from Tennessee. All of that needs to be happening ASAPidly.
They did.
Yeah.
They started that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you were a student involved in that, tickets revoked for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let me see it on video, and I'm gonna find who you were.
If
Don't
you were
come
a
back.
student, yeah, like I mean, this is one of those moments where I can say, as an Auburn fan, I've never experienced anything like this. I cannot think of one moment where Auburn fans have done something this embarrassing to the university. Like, listen, that kind of behavior is for the Updikes, man. Let them have that. Let them poison trees and shoot their cousins and do all that stuff, right? Like, I mean, I can't say that I had any feeling about Tennessee fans one way or the other, but
that was I was like, I didn't feel any kind of way about Tennessee fans before this. Now I'm just like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, like, come on, man. That's Bush League. You know, at the end of the day, it's a damn football game. You're throwing stuff at people, you know. I don't know, man. I'm with you, Ike. I want to see a statement from the university and a resounding and unconditional rebuke of everybody who was involved in that fiasco.
For sure.
You owe Lane Kiffin and the University of Ole Miss a very public and sincere apology for that behavior.
And basically, in your attempt to make Lane Kiffin out to be a villain, you made yourself look worse.
The villain. Yeah.
You actually validated his decision to leave your university based off of your behavior of that game.
Congrats. It was awful, man.
Yeah,
I was
congratulations.
Thoroughly embarrassed as an SEC fan watching that game last night.
Yeah.
Thoroughly embarrassed.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mike G, you want to go?
I
got you.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So, listen, man, OU is a contender. I remain impressed with Lincoln Riley. He has benched Spencer Rattler like 3 times already. And he has shown that he is not afraid to bench him again. And they're 7-0. What? This is mind-boggling.
They legitimately should have lost to Texas. I still don't know how they won that game.
Right. And I mean, if you look at this man, he will put it all on the line to keep this season alive for them and keep them in the playoff hunt. I am so impressed, you know, and the fact that they just have a quarterback that they can go to when things aren't going well. And then he can legitimately reevaluate week to week who's going to play. Man, now remember when we did a little thing with the tier 5 through 1 quarterbacks?
Yeah,
right?
he was sitting alone at number 1. Yeah.
Spencer Rattler was.
Yeah.
The only other quarterback that came close was like JT Daniels or Dylan Gabriel. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, they benched him. Now, Rattler is not a talentless guy. He may not be living up to expectations, but I am impressed with any coach who can reason to bench a guy as high profile as Rattler was.
Yeah.
In the middle of their season and it worked. Yeah. Now, did the other guy come in and set the world on fire? Yes and no.
He played well enough for them to win.
Right. Yeah. He removed QB as a reason that they wouldn't win the game. Now, do I think Oklahoma's going to win it all? Absolutely not. But I've been a little enamored with Lincoln Riley since he took over that program from Bob Stoops. I think he's done a phenomenal job keeping them in the conversation every year. He took a graduate transfer in Jalen Hurts, got them to the playoffs. You know, I was rooting for Jalen Hurts more than I've ever rooted for any former Bama player.
Factual.
I think he was a class act when he got benched. He came in and he played well after Tua got hurt. You know, he left in his own interest, and Lincoln Riley just knew what to do with him. Got him to the Heisman room. So
what does that do for a player's stock if you're getting benched at a place and I'm assuming Rattler may leave if he loses it, if he's completely lost his job. What does that do for a QB stock, leaving a place where that it's built his reputation for putting out great quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think, again, if you've got talent, you go someplace else and then you just prove it there. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm not professing to know what's happening in their quarterback race or what's in Rattler's head or why he's not performing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I assume if he's not going to play and he's not going pro, he's going to transfer. Because in his mind, he probably has too much talent to wonder from week to week whether he's going to start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He can definitely go and start now at a bunch of other Power 5 programs.
Facts.
100%. He's got enough talent to do that. Right. So if he wanted
That's
to.
who might actually go to UCF.
Oh, man. Oof.
I don't
that'd be
think it's a
terrible for
good
him, though.
decision for him.
Yeah.
but
Right. But
let's go shopping in the bargain bin for a QB in a hurry.
Yeah, I think he could do better, a little better than UCF.
Why
but-
bargain bin though?
That's what he does. He's like, is there anybody who nobody else wants? Because I'm looking for a QB.
Yeah, I mean,
oh man,
I
the
think-
clearance aisle of
Yeah, he's a thrift
college
store.
transfers.
yeah, I think there are a bunch of other.
What's
Power
the guy that
5
had the
programs
thrift
that are
shop song?
Macklemore.
Macklemore. Gus Malzahn is the Macklemore of college football coaches.
taking- Yeah, I think
Couple
again,
of hit records outside of that. It's a bunch of
That
trash.
is deadly accurate though.
a bunch of other Power
Yeah.
5 programs that would take Rattler if he decides to leave. But again, hats off to Lincoln Riley, man. He just keeps it. They just quietly keeps them in the conversation every year.
Yeah.
Even if they're not a threat to win it,
Yeah,
at least they have hope till the end.
right.
I would love to be where they're at.
Well, not too often that a situation allows a lane train to show some class right on. I have to
Yeah.
agree with you there. Also, man, pleasure meeting you about a week ago.
Yeah.
Appreciate you stopping by to
Yeah,
hang out with
well,
us at the
man.
tailgate, man. Great guy.
Good dude. Good dude.
Be Will. What's yours, sir?
This may not be very popular coming off of the week we had last week, but if it's not this year for Georgia, it may never happen.
Yeah,
What they've got,
Never.
their defense. Okay, so we went into that Georgia game and we said, hey, you know what? The QB isn't great. Our run defense can hold them down. And all that was true. But you have to score points on these dudes. And not just a drive here and there. Their first half against Kentucky looked a lot like our first half against them. There were some plays that Kentucky had available that you absolutely have to make to keep that drive going. Not to get up by 10 points, because I don't think that was going to happen. But there are opportunities against that defense. And if you miss like one, the drive's done. So give them the ball back. And it's really the error for the margin is like that thin. You have to hit that play. You can't miss that block. Your running back was going to get 4 yards on that run. And that was going to get you the first down. Or that was going to take you from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 3. And now it's 3rd and 6 because you whiffed. And now that's it. The drive's over. And even though they don't have a dynamic offense, JT Daniels, I still have not watched a full game of that man play. I was never sold on him. Not one time. When he was being mentioned in preseason as a Heisman favorite, I said nonsense. Bully. That's funny. I don't know why I said that. But Stetson Bennett, he makes the exact play that needs to be made. I watched it countless times in that Kentucky game. Like, no, he hit that tight end exactly where it needed to be. Kentucky did not play a bad game. It was very similar to our game. They were in there. It's just that when the margin for error was really thin, Stetson Bennett makes plays. I would gladly have a quarterback that is decisive, that seems to be ready for the moment and makes those plays when they need to be made over a guy who just has a much bigger arm. Because apparently that's all anybody can tell me is that, JT Daniels can stretch the field. Yeah, but listen, man, I got a defense giving up like 8 points a game or something like that. Who cares if he can stretch the field? Because at least I got a little dude, and no disrespect, I don't mean like that. He's kind of short. He can get us down the field. Yeah, it's not going to be in 2 pass plays, but do I need it to be? No, I want our offensive line to wear you down. I want our offensive line to impose their will over the course of the game. I don't need to hit home runs. I want to go down the field in 8, 9, 10 plays. and you're just whipped, and then I'm going to do whatever I want for a quarter and a half. That's the formula. They got the formula, and it's working really well, even with injuries. I am impressed because I'm not the biggest fan of Kirby Smart, and I'm still not, because if I'm going to stack up what you get to keep your program going versus what most other people get, you're going to win by a wide margin. So you should be doing what you're doing right now, Kirby. It's overdue, but you finally look like you got them going. The only threat, I think, is the fact that maybe Bama's loss woke them up, and that SEC championship game will be the best offense that Georgia has had to face all year. And as much as I'd like to say, yeah, Georgia's better, man, I don't know. Saban seems to have his number, but we'll see. But bravo, Georgia. Bravo.
Okay. I think we missed. Did we get John Brandon's Who Sneaks Golf Balls with Mustard? Yeah, I think we got that super chat. I'm looking for Sean Feely's. I'm looking for Sean Feely. Did we see him? I didn't see him either. Okay. I didn't see him. Yeah. So he really is gone.
Last chance, Sean. Say something.
You better show yourself. You better show yourself.
I hate doing this, but I'll do it.
You better comment now,
3,
Sean.
2, 1. Let's do it. Sean, I'm sorry. Don't hit me up later.
Don't add me.
Don't add me, bro. I saw Mike Hicks in there. Kenji.
Now, Kenji,
are you here?
The window is a lot shorter because we're at the end of the show.
So we've never had to draw 4 times. We've never had to draw 4 times. Kenji, if you're watching, Sean got knocked out by a golf.
Yikes.
You go. Yikes. Yeah, man, is this happening?
Yeah.
Oh man,
seems like it is. It's a delay on it, but
yeah, I'm trying to give y'all a little time because I know that there is a delay, but
yeah, I will say this about B's deal with Georgia. Georgia is legit, man. Holy crap, dude. I'm just watching them and I'm thinking, they get a lot of crap on social media for how long it's been since they've won a championship. This has got to be it for Kirby, right? Like,
gotta be.
What Bama's down. By Bama standards, they're down.
Right.
In that they look gettable. You've got the best defense in the country. Their line is giving up a ton of pressure. But we're not even convinced that it's going to be them that they see in the SEC championship, right?
That's true. I saw some people correcting me. That is absolutely true.
Yeah,
there's no guarantee that Bama's going to make it there. But that's the only offense I think that really has a chance to give them fits.
Yeah. I mean, now I will tell you, if we have coaches that can make adjustments, if they had to see us again, I feel confident that we would perform a lot better than we did the first time.
Agreed.
Yeah. So
I still don't see Kenji commenting.
Oh, wow. Man. Wow. Okay. Yes. Let's roll it again.
All right. We're going to do this again.
We're going to keep going until we get somebody.
Who's here?
Go.
Yeah. This is a weird Sunday. Everybody hung over from tailgating yesterday or what?
I saw some different names in it this time. Hey! He's been commenting all show.
I've seen you. Now, if you ain't here,
you've been commenting the entire show. I know that for certain. So come on through here and get this T-shirt.
Yeah, say it, bro. Say it. Say it with your chest. Tell us. End this madness.
Come on.
This is
are we drawing a 4th time here?
We've done 3 draws before.
We have done 3. This is the 3rd one. Is there a 4th one?
Come on. He does. He comments all the time. Like, you can't tell me you dipped out right at the end.
He's been here today.
I know.
Sure.
Wow. Is this really happening?
So did he have somebody win 2 straight one time, and that's why we had to draw multiple times? They weren't here, or they had already won, but they won 2 times straight.
No, we've had a person who wasn't here, and we drew again, and it popped up with their name again.
Yeah, Nino Brown.
That's right.
Nino Brown.
Wow. Is this really happening right here?
Grindworks Entertainment here.
Keep putting get your weight up, hashtag get your weight up. And I see what some of y'all are doing. That's smart. Keep putting
yeah. They're getting in, right?
They're getting ready. Like, oh, let me go ahead and enter.
Wow.
Yikes.
I F it, man. Roll it again.
Listen,
Okay.
that is crazy. I have seen him commenting the whole time, and then it's time to do it. All right, let's do it again. It's not my fault if you comment after this.
This is why you hang on towards the end, right?
Yeah, we do this at the 1 hour mark. Joe D. Wilkins.
Come on.
Joe here?
Joe,
Right, Joe
help
D.
us. Help me.
Let's get off this show.
Right. Get us off this show.
I'm so hungry, dog. I've been waiting to go get something. I need one of y'all to claim this, please. There you go, Joe.
There you go.
There we go.
Time to eat. All right.
Baby.
All right, Joe. Business at the War Rapport, Joe. Business at the War Rapport. Please email us your address and your t-shirt size so we can get that t-shirt right out to you. Love giving stuff away. Cannot believe we got all the way there. So Joe, congratulations.
Well, Mike G, go ahead, take us out, man. I know you got some closing announcements. I think we got something we want to roll to, so go ahead.
Yeah, listen. Before we close this out, quick word from our sponsor.
All right, business owners, high-income professionals, listen up. Have you ever considered that by funding a 401k or IRA, you are potentially creating a massive tax burden when you retire? Contrary to what you hear from traditional advisors and accountants, 401k or IRA do not save on taxes. It postpones the tax and tax calculation. Wealthy people don't have access to some special tax code. They use financial products, parts of the tax code that are available to everyone, including you and strategy. Would you like to learn how to take advantage of the tax code? All right, well, check this out. Our guy, Ethan Dawe, the owner of Innovative Financial Solutions, has clients throughout the USA and is a nationally recognized expert in the veterinary community. You know how we love to say the puppies. So contact Ethan at 251-243-6038 or email him, ethan@ethandawe.com. Ethan Dawe is your alternative to traditional financial planning. Tell him the War Rapport sent you.
Hey, thanks to Ethan. Tell him the War Report sent you. Also, become an insider, guys. We've got a session coming next Monday. So tomorrow is our watch the film. We're going to go over the Arkansas tape. Next week, because we are on a bye week, we're just going to talk wide receiver play with some former pro receivers. We're bringing on 3 former Auburn receivers that all played in the league to talk about pass catching, because we have dropped a record amount of passes this season. So we definitely want to get you guys in on that. Ben Obamanu, Courtney Taylor, and Devin Aromashadu. If you've seen our Building Rapport series and our Chop It Up with a Pro, we've actually done segments with Devin and Courtney already. So Ben Obamanu will be joining us for the first time. We're super excited about that. So you definitely want to become an insider to get access to that. That will be insider only. If you're a supporter, don't at me asking why you don't have access. Just head to the front page, upgrade it from a supporter to an insider. We don't have a ton of supporters, but we do have some. You definitely want to upgrade to insider so you can get access to that. Other than that, listen, Wednesday night, we're raffling off tickets to the Ole Miss game live, but you have to be, just like the t-shirt, you have to be live to win. So join us at the 1 hour mark. Instead of a t-shirt, this week we will be giving away tickets. That comes courtesy of our guy, Mike and Dave Parrish. They are excellent subs that we have that support our content, and they wanted to do something good for the community. So this is a good they've decided to do, which is giving away their tickets to the Ole Miss game. So all you have to do is be a subscriber and show up. That is it. The chat will be limited to subscribers only. That's how we're going to know that you're a subscriber. So when you answer, we'll know that you subscribe to the War Report. So join us for that. We're on podcasts, people. Check us out over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, anywhere you listen to podcasts, the War Report is. So you can help us climb the podcast charts, support our content by downloading our podcast or dropping us a review and giving us a 5-star rating if you love the content. Want to thank our segment sponsor, Ace Hardware, University Ace Hardware. So go check them out at 2101 East University Drive, Auburn, Alabama. They are our guy Dave Fitchner over there is a wonderful sponsor. We appreciate his store. I actually stopped by there while I was in town for the Georgia game. I had to buy some tools to fix my feelings after what we watched. So please check out Ace Hardware. They are a great sponsor of ours. And then last but not least, BUSR. This is our betting sponsor. We want you guys to go sign up for an account. You know, even if you don't bet a ton, if you place one bet a year, just signing up for an account helps us with this sponsor. So busr.com/rapport. You got to use this specific URL so that they know that you came over from the War Rapport. So please do not go to just busr.com, busr.com/rapport to help us out with that. So we appreciate everybody who's been rocking with us. We're 7 games. Are we 7 games in?
7 games in now.
7 games into this thing, man. We got 5 more to go. Hoping for some memorable times here down the stretch.
Guys, I want to thank y'all so much for hanging out with us on a Sunday. DFY says, thank you, gentlemen. Have a blessed week. AU fam, you have a blessed week as well, sir. And thank you for your super chat and for hanging out with us. And guys, listen, there's more people out there looking for great Auburn content. Help us find them. Help them find us. You can do that by sharing this live show as well as others that we do in the future or in the past using hashtag #GetYourWeight on social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter. Please be sure to like, get the thumbs up on this video, subscribe if you haven't already to us on YouTube. Guys, we're on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook I already mentioned, but you can find us at The War Rapport, all of those. We're TW Rapport on TikTok. That's it for now, but we got a great week of content still in store for you guys, even though it's a slow week. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, and as always, have a great week. And War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.